There's this phrase when all children like to draw and they're proud of their work, but most parents know that confidence fades over time, and kids may even stop drawing altogether. Well, the good news is that with some knowledge, mom can intercept that pattern to keep kids drawing, painting, and doing art. Art instructor Laurie White has some direction for us, and it is true, you think as even adults, we're not drawing, well, you are, but the rest of us. So why do kids stop?
Well, it's a confidence thing. So it's known that most adults draw on a 9 to 10-year-old level, and that's because there's a phase in child development where everyone's comparing and looking, and then you think, oh shoot, I'm not good enough. If I can't draw it just right, or if I can't even do a cartoon right, then I must not be an artist, and so therefore I'm gonna stop and let so-and-so be the artist. But that's not true. We can teach kids how to draw, and especially if we get them before age 9 and build their confidence to where they draw something that they're really proud of, they go, oh my gosh, I am an artist. And everyone can have that opportunity.
So before age 9, that's when we really got to get in there and build that confidence. I just think because we played telestrations over the weekend, and oh my, that you hear that a lot, like, oh, well, she's a really good artist. I don't know how to do
I can only draw stick figures. That's what everybody says who's not confident, right?
Okay,
but
so we got to get in there and do that. So you're going to take a step-by-step kind of through the ages, what we can do at each stage to help kids so that they continue loving art. Okay, we're going to start with the littles. 3 to 5.
Okay, so 3 to 5. So there's this great time. Age 3 is the very first thing they can do. It kind of looks like this. So we can kind of hold this up a little bit. So it's a connected circle with lines coming out of it. This is the very first representational thing that 3-year-olds can do. So when you see that, this is still, they're just wanting to play, they're just wanting to use materials, they're totally having fun. They don't care if you like it or not. They don't care if you know what it is. So you don't have to say, what is it? Or you just say, oh my gosh, I love all the colors, I love all those lines, you're so creative.
That is a good tip, that we don't have to know what it is.
Yes.
Okay, that we just say,
we're usually wrong.
And then they get sad if they're like, oh, it's a house. Okay, so they draw for plain enjoyment. They don't necessarily care if it's beautiful.
Right.
And you're saying if they can form letters, they can start drawing.
Yeah, so that's the next step. So they're gonna start doing the representational drawing, and they might say, hey, this is a bug, or this is an astronaut, no matter what it looks like, and you just say, oh, I love it, and you just give them opportunity. As soon as they can form letters, so preschool, kindergarten, when they can do motor planning, their motor skills are a lot better, and they can say A goes down and across, that's when they can do guided drawing. So I think the thing is that we underestimate what kids can do. So once they get to that letter forming stage, then it's time for guided drawing, and they can do the greatest things you've ever seen. They're gonna absolutely blow you away.
Okay, and you talked about some little things we might need at that stage to get them going.
Supplies, definitely, and this is where you need instruction. So this is where I would go to like YouTube. Like I have a YouTube, Great Artist Mom. There's lots of people on there that do awesome YouTube things, and they can see, oh, I'm gonna break it down into one line, one shape at a time, and then I'm gonna make something that I'm really proud of, and that builds their confidence, and then they want to do more.
And that's just when they're teeny tiny, littles up to about age 5. Then what do we do in those middle years, like 5 to 11?
So 5 to 11, I still totally do guided drawing with my elementary classes. So I love to show them masterpieces. So what you can see is, I'm just gonna scoot over a little bit.
Okay.
So you can see these masterpieces behind us. So you do not have to draw a circle and a square and say, we're gonna shade this in, and that's called art. This is called value. You can show them Van Gogh, and you can teach them line by line and step by step, and you can get them to draw this, and they're learning perspective and color theory and line and value and all of it, but they're doing something that they're so wildly successful at that they literally go, oh my gosh, I'm an artist. And that's what we want. We want them to feel good about themselves.
Because everything doesn't have to be perfectly realistic.
Right, yeah. And I think, and that's something too, I always tell my kids, this is not photorealism. This isn't a photograph. We're illustrating today. We can be kind of cheeky. We can make mistakes. We can turn our mistakes into something else, but we can still make a successful, wonderful art piece. And we just need to put a little bit of time. They just need a little bit of guidance, and then they can do it.
And how do we guide them in this?
Okay, so I'm gonna show you.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so this is one of my very favorites. This is Matisse Goldfish. I love Matisse. He's a fauve, which means wild beast. So he has really bold lines and really bold colors. And now this would take like 12 to 15 minutes in the classroom, but okay, I'm gonna come over here by Amy.
Show.
Okay, so we're just gonna break it down. So we're gonna do 2 ellipses, and then we're gonna draw 2 lines, and we're gonna draw another ellipse, And we're gonna look at that table, and it comes all the way up here, and we're gonna draw a big round circle like this. And then my piece is over it, but the table goes like this because I've drawn this like 4 million times. And then we have a circle right there. Okay, now let's do our fish. So with a really easy shapes like this. And then because the reflection, the water's moving, they're more wiggly. So the most important thing here is to teach kids to see like an artist. So like I would say, what shape are some of those leaves? And they all say, oh, it's a heart. Well, yeah, you guys know how to draw a heart. And so then we would put a nice giant heart leaf here and here. And then what about the other things? What do you see? And they're like, oh my gosh, I see circles with lines. Well, yeah, everyone can do that. So then you can start pulling in that background. And within a few minutes, you can do this amazing drawing. And then, you know, the kids are like, oh my gosh, I can do Matisse. And then we teach them how to color and how to blend and how to go to the edges. And all of a sudden, they're just
shapes and the shapes and the shapes.
It's just
shapes.
It
becomes something amazing. Okay,
yeah, it's just
what
shapes.
about as our kids get a little older, those teenagers, they're the ones who are not gonna wanna do this.
Yeah, so I love teaching teenagers so much because they're wearing their heart on the sleeve. They don't think they're good enough, they're comparing. Yeah. And when I can get them into the class and I can show them and I like to show them new techniques. I like to really expect more. Like, you guys can totally do this. And so I like to give them a lot more independence, but I also give them a ton of encouragement. And for those kids, when they come in, they're kind of like, oh, and when they're more quiet, but you can see the smile, and I lean over and go, did you know that you could do this? And they're like, no. And I'm like, you're awesome. So this is like what a 12-year-old can do. So, you know, they can do anything. Really, every kid can do anything if you give them a little bit of instruction, a little bit of supplies, and especially just some time to create.
And you said supplies. I mean, this can be anything. This can be an iPad. This can be, they can use a million different things.
Right, yeah. So the iPad is the best for like YouTube when they're just like, Mom, I'm bored. What should I do? Pull out the iPad, pull up Great Artist Mom on YouTube, and just all you need is crayons and construction paper. If that's all you have, that's awesome. And if you want to build up, I'd go to watercolors next. But honestly, crayons and construction paper, and you can make gorgeous things.
Well, and if you want to get going, you have a special offer for us. Tell us what you're offering.
Oh yeah, so for Studio 5 viewers, I have a free Monet lesson. So I have a brand new program that's online. So if you're a homeschool mom or if you want to get some art students for your kids after school, then you can go to my website, Great Artist Program, and find homeschool, and it's masterpiece lessons. But for our viewers, we have a special link so that you can get a free Monet lesson, and it's digital, it's video, it's 4 videos, and then like an hour-long worth of instruction so that your kids can make a masterpiece today.
Oh my goodness, she's done it for us. We don't have to do anything, we just have to log in.
Yeah, let me be your art teacher.
I will. Just seeing this, I'm like, okay, she's it. Thank you, Laurie.
You're welcome.